this from any device that you have internet access from, and you go to get.caddcommunity.com. Now there are two different options for logging in. Most of you have been given a username and password, and you would enter that in right from the home page. Now if you have a very large group, or if you're using one of our trials that we had from Autodesk University, you might have been given an enrollment key. So if you click on that Submit Enrollment Key button, that's where you would put the key ID and the password. And then once you've submitted that enrollment key, then you would create a username and password that you would use from now on when you are signing in. So obviously helps put the right username and password in, and you can click Login or hit Enter, and you will get to the home page. Now for those of you maybe that signed up a while ago, or it's been a little bit since you've been into the portal, we have updated this dashboard a little bit just to make it a little easier for you to navigate around. So there are a few things I'll draw your attention to, and I'll go ahead and zoom in here just in case you have a smaller monitor so that you can see everything that I'm going through. So at the top here we have different banners that'll direct your attention to new items that we've added in, new webinars, new features. Right here you'll see two of the latest additions that we have available in the CADD community, which are two different Revit add-ins that you can download. One of them is the dashboard and the filter plus. So if you click on any of these links at the top here, it'll open right to that resource. Same within this community news section. This is often coming from our blog that you can get to right here from the launch pad. So you can open up our blog by using that lower left-hand corner, or if you see an article that you're specifically interested in, you can click on that and open up right to it. Most things in the CADD community will open up in a new window. So one thing I do like to point out is just make sure that your pop-up blocker is disabled. If you're trying to launch a link or a course exercise, anything like that, and nothing happens, just check that top dashboard, make sure your pop-up blocker is disabled for get.caddcommunity.com. So as I said, we've sort of redesigned this dashboard and homepage here to make it a little easier to navigate around. There are a few different ways that you can get to your courses. Right here you have the two different types of courses, the Global eTraining or the CADD Microsystems. We also have an option for the My Company courses. If you have multiple people in your group, or even if it's just you who are using this portal and you have your own training resources, whether they be videos or PDFs, if you would like those hosted on the CADD community so that everyone is coming to one central place for training or information, you can get in contact with us about that, and we will build out and upload anything for your own personal use. It would only be people that you would approve to have in that My Company University section. Now, most of the time when you are set up with an account, you're given a username, which is usually pretty straightforward, your first name and last name, but the password might be a crazy combination of numbers and letters and symbols. So the first thing you might want to do is go to this toggle menu that'll sort of follow you around in the top right-hand corner and go to Edit Profile. From here, you can update your information if you would like, but you can come in here and change your password. So if you were given something crazy that you're never going to remember, I would definitely recommend going ahead and setting up a password so you have that pulled up there. Obviously, if you forget your password, there is an option to reset that or contact us on the home page, and I will provide you excuse me, with my information so that if you need to reset that, you can just reach out to me and I will remind you or get you a new one. So as I said, there are a few different ways to get to the courses. We have it already divided out for you with the Global eTraining or CADD Microsystems. You can also launch My Courses from this Learning Management tab, or if you use the toggle menu here, you can go to My Courses, and once again it'll have those 3 divisions: the CADD Microsystems or CADD Community content, the Global eTraining courses, or your organization's resources, documents, and classes. So we'll start off by looking at the CADD Community or CADD Microsystems section, and those are divided into 3 different categories. You have applications, you have downloads, and courses. So the downloads are going to be various, content packs. Right here we have data sources, tips and tricks from Lynn Allen, as well as frequently asked questions and white papers. In this white paper section in the CADD Community, you have the user guide. If you look on your webinar dashboard, you also have a handout that's been loaded in there called the CADD Community User Guide. Essentially, that is a PDF screenshot type version of what we're going through today. So if you need a refresher on how to access a playlist or to get the plugin, you can use that as a reference, or of course you can reach out to me. So that sort of covers the CADD downloads, which once again you can get to in a few different places. We also have the CADD applications. That has a lot of different tools and add-ins that we've created for Revit, like that Filter Plus or Model Checker, Model Configurator, OmniClass database, various applications that you do have unlimited access to. And then once again, either from the My Courses tab or from the home page in the CADD Community Library, you have all the various courses that we have created. So these are made by our application specialists. As you'll see when we get into the Global eTraining section, a lot of the courses are 55, 60 hours worth of content. So really teaching you everything you would learn in the classroom for a week or more. These CADD Microsystems courses are much more targeted. So you'll see in here these classes tend to be about 60 to 90 minutes in length. Once again, very drilled down. So we have a Revit Family Basics course that would go on top of the Revit course that you have in the Global eTraining section. Just various items in here that we do update and continue adding to. Because you have that subscription access, anything new that gets created will automatically be uploaded to your portal. In these courses, we also have instructional videos. So these are, once again, very targeted, just videos that are going to go over, 5 tips in 5 minutes, or little secrets that you may not have known about the software. Helping to get started with Bluebeam has been a very popular tutorial because Bluebeam is definitely growing. And so you have all these different videos that were created specifically for the CADD community. But in here you can also access recordings of our webinars. So much like we have this webinar today, you probably get invitations to all the other ones that we host throughout the month. If you're not able to make one of those, we do put the recorded version in this CADD community portal. So if there was something you really wanted to see but missed out, you can always review it on demand. So that covers the majority of the CADD Microsystems, CADD Community section. Once again, you have unlimited access to all of these resources, so just jump in and see what interests you. Now the sort of meat and potatoes here where you're going to find the full-length technical training courses are right here in the Global eTraining courses or from the dashboard under GeT courses. Now because we do have a wide variety of courses and I am a master administrator, your view might be a little different from mine. This has all of our different libraries. So you probably have only the Autodesk library, maybe the BEM. If you are interested in any of these, we can certainly look into adding them in, but don't be surprised if you have less options. So in the Autodesk library, when you open that up, you may have both flexible and guided courses. The content in the courses is the same whether it's flexible or guided, but sort of as the name implies, the guided courses require you to finish the first section before moving on to the second, and so on and so forth. The flexible courses are much more useful if you're going to be jumping in and out and maybe using this as a reference tool, because it will allow you to move through the courses in any order you please. So you'll see here that we do have all the courses broken down by the different years or versions of the software. So just keep that in mind. If you are updating, hopefully you have all the different options, and you can ensure that anything you're learning about is going to be relevant to the version you're currently working on. So as you can see, we have a lot of different options of courses even within that specific version. For AutoCAD, it's not one AutoCAD course. We have a 2D, 3D, advanced, and then breaking down into architecture or electrical or structure. So you can really go through here and make sure that you're using the course that's going to be most relevant for you. Anytime you open one of these courses, as I said, make sure you have your pop-up blocker disabled. You should be able to either click on the course itself or open, and it'll open in that new tab for you. So from here, all the courses start out with an orientation. Everything that's covered in there I'm talking about today, so hopefully you don't need a refresher on it, but if you have someone that's maybe not making this meeting, or if you do need that, you can go into the learner orientation and really get that update on how to utilize this interactive user interface. Right here at the top, you'll also see the data set that you're available to download. That will correlate with the exercises that we have in there for you, which we're going to jump into soon, so that should make a little more sense. But right at the top, you'll see that data set. We also have a new features section that start out all the courses. So if you are working on 2015 and you're updating to 2016, you can just easily open that up and see what's changed. But then from there, this is going to be laid out very similar to how we would teach it in a classroom. Start with the very basics of introducing you to the user interface and starting a project. So logically, you can jump around these in any order, but if you are learning that software new, I would recommend starting at the top and working your way down. Now you'll see some of these have an exclamation mark next to it. Anytime you see that, that indicates that that section is covered on the Autodesk certification exam, or at least Autodesk says you need to know that in order to be fully prepared for that certification exam. So if you're planning on sitting for the exam and you really want to sort of cram beforehand, if you go through all of these sections with the exclamation mark, then you should be fully prepared. Now this will give you little visual clues in case you are jumping around out of order. This play button means that you've never opened that section. The play pause means that you've started it but never completed it. And then the check mark means that you've fully completed that. As I mentioned before, you do have unlimited attempts. So even if you've gone through it, you can open it up again as many times as you'd like. I've done this one 139 times, so really not going to cut you off. Now, if you're trying to decide whether or not you need to go through a section, these mid-lecture quizzes and progress tests are really designed to be used after you've gone through the training to confirm that you've sort of absorbed all that knowledge and are ready to move on. But this can be a great way to determine if you need to go through that training section. So they're a mixture of multiple choice, true and false, select all that apply. As you can see here, if I get the question wrong, it'll tell me the right answer. For true and false, it's pretty straightforward, but for the multiple choice, select all that apply. You can go through here, see what you know. If you get a lower score, something like a 40%, I probably need to go through that section. So I'm going to close that out as opposed to moving on. But these are put right into each of these topics. So if you don't do well in this quiz, you would just go to the section above it. Same with the progress test, cover the sections above that. Now let's go ahead and launch an actual course so you can see that interactive interface. Once again, as I said, opening in a new window. Now you may have been able to hear this has audio narration. Anytime you have anything written in text, it'll also auto-narrate that. Now if you have your system volume muted, then that certainly solves that. But it also has this mute button here. So if you're not wanting to have that audio narration, you can turn that off, and that'll keep it muted for the section. But if you are more of a listener than a reader, that might be very useful for you. Now, if you are following along and open this, your tab looks different from mine. This will leave off where you last were in that section. So I can always jump back to the beginning using this side menu bar. You can jump to any specific section. Once again, if you're studying for that exam, go to the ones with the exclamation mark. Or you can just move through with the arrows. And then, of course, that'll put you in that sort of logical classroom order. Now, there are a few different interactive elements with this. As I said, you have all of the text content. All of that will be audio narrated if you do want to listen rather than read. We have image associations that you can open up either through the side box here or by clicking on the green bolded word, and that'll just show you what it looks like in the software, give you more examples of that so you can really know what it is that you should be seeing when you're using the software itself. And you can X out of that either using the X mark or just clicking on the side. We do have e-tips, where once again you can have audio narration. You can go to the ribbon. Or you can just read it. And these tips will give you, basic tricks, hints, and also if you're trying to locate something on the ribbon, it will give you that shortcut key as well. So as you go through, once again, mixture of these tips and images. We have learn more content, which are little advanced lessons within that subtopic. And we have our demonstration videos. So sort of scattered throughout these courses where it makes sense based on the content. We have videos of our Autodesk instructors going through all the steps and helping sort of sum up all the content you had learned.
Revit provides us with several different...
So once again, you have the audio narration for the demonstration videos. But you'll see here we have that closed caption option. So if you're in a place where you are not able to listen to them or you just prefer to read, you can turn on those closed captions and follow along. I've sort of highlighted his pointer here so that you can watch as he's going through the steps. And because people in focus groups perform better on the exercises after watching a video, if we have that instructor sort of green screen right there, we do pay attention to that. So you have the instructor there hidden in the corner to help you pay attention a little better and retain that information. So once again, you can move through these sections using the arrow to go back and forth, or you can jump to a specific topic if you are trying to get quick reference training. Towards the end of these sections, and then once again, where it's appropriate, like the demonstration videos, we do have those Let Me Try exercises. So once again, the data set for the Let Me Try exercises is available in the top of the course here. But these exercises are good for a few reasons. One, you have a safe environment where you can practice everything you've learned, really recreate what you would just watch that instructor do to help reinforce it. But as you can see in here, these are teaching tools as well. I'm very much a step-by-step learner, a step-by-step type of person, so this will really narrow down all the picks and clicks necessary to complete an action. So you can always have these on hand if you're not using our data set, but really want to be able to practice that and make sure you're doing the right steps. So that is really the full interactive interface for the courses. A few things that our customers really like that I think are very beneficial if you are using this more as a quick resource or if you're more of that hands-on or YouTube type trained. So for all the courses here, when you're on that home page, in this top left-hand corner, there is the resources box. If you open that up, you'll see the data set. You'll see two things, and they'll be labeled differently for the courses, but most of them will all say demo playlist or exercises or exercise playlist. So this is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It is a playlist of all the demonstration videos. So there are two ways to get to that, and I'll show you. This one where you're pulling up the full eDemo playlist will take a second to load, even if you're not running through GoToMeeting, because what this is doing is it's pulling up every single demonstration video that is in that class. So instead of watching the demonstration videos when they come up, when it's relevant, you can actually load this playlist. And then just like the course is laid out, everything is labeled by specific topic, and you can just jump straight to the demonstration video that's going to be relevant for you. The other playlists that we have in here are for the exercises. So if you're wanting to practice something, maybe you're not going through the full course, you just want that sort of roadmap guideline for how to do the picks and clicks, you can easily open any of these exercises, once again, right from that resources tab on homepage, and that PDF user guide that I have will once again reinforce how to get there. The other way to access those types of resources is if you're in the Autodesk course section within Global eTraining, there is the plugin eDemo library. So you can see that we have this for all the 2015 courses. If you wanted to see all the demonstrations for Revit MEP, as opposed to loading the full playlist, you can just find the topic that's going to be relevant and open that right up. It won't open them all at the same time, so that's a little quicker to get in and out of. Now, that really covers the majority of the web portal. So one thing that I definitely want to put your attention to, hopefully you have been using this portal. Hopefully whoever set you up with this told you about the plugin that we have, but that really is one of the biggest benefits, especially for more experienced users that are using this maybe more as a reference or refresher type tool. But this will allow you to get training directly within the software. As you can see from here, we have it available for the 2015, 16, and 17 versions of AutoCAD, Revit, Civil 3D, Navisworks, Plant 3D, and Inventor. So how this works, I've got Revit 2015 open. From here, I would enable this just like any other add-in within the software. As you can see, I have the full course catalog available right here. So just like I could do within the web portal, I can open up demonstration videos or the full sort of interactive slideshow that you have to access the training. With this, you'll put in the same username and password that you use to get into the web portal. But essentially, as I mentioned, it's a little more handy because it's delivered right within the software. You don't have to navigate anywhere else. But really, the most beneficial feature of this is that it is responsive. So right now I am at the home page, or sort of the home catalog, where you can see all the different topics. If I go to the ribbon here and click on the column tool, the plugin automatically reacts and brings up videos, exercises, or all the content that is relevant to columns. Works for the editing tools as well. Anything you click on, it'll automatically bring up the training that's relevant to it. So this really can help with getting better adoption of the training, make it fit more naturally into your day-to-day while you're working. And once again, this plugin is completely free and available for all of the software that was listed out there. And to get to that, as always, there are a few different ways, but the easiest way is to go to CAD Applications right here from the home page. And then it's right here, the Global eTraining plugin for CADD Community. So one last thing that you do have access to that you can get either in the courses or in the plugin. You'll see in the classes that there's this little question mark. As I said, it's available in the plugin as well, but that will open up to our help desk support page. So this goes to the Global eTraining help desk support, and we do have this staffed by certified Autodesk instructors. You can look through frequently asked questions. You do have a chat option, but I highly recommend using the ticket system. So whether you have a conceptual question or if you're struggling with an exercise, you can go in and create a ticket asking whatever question you have, really inquiring about additional items that weren't covered in the training, or it's really meant to do the Autodesk best practices. So any questions that you have, you can submit in this ticket. It does have the ability to add screenshots or screen recordings. So if you don't want to have to try and explain what went on or what it looks like, you can just add in that screenshot. And the response will come back very similar to how these exercises look, where the instructor will pull you out step by step for how to solve problems, or once again, if it's conceptual, really talking you through that answer. But this ticket will be stored in your My Ticket section. So I really recommend that in case you do run into that question or issue again. You can always look up the answer, and then you'll also receive that response through email. That's really why I recommend using that ticket system. And you do have unlimited access to that. That's included in everyone's subscription. So definitely make use of it.